Some people are genuinely kind, other people are just very, very careful. And after a while, even they stop knowing which one they are. You're good at reading rooms, you've always been good at it. You notice when someone's energy shifts before they say anything. You adjust, you soften, you find the version of yourself that makes the situation easier. You've been doing it so long it doesn't feel like effort anymore. But if you sit with it, if you actually trace it back, there's usually a point where it started, where you figured out young that the version of you that needed things made people uncomfortable, that the version of you that disagreed caused problems, that the version of you that just made it easy worked. So you kept making it easy. From the outside, you look like the most low maintenance person anyone knows. You don't start arguments, you don't make complicated requests, you answer wherever you want when someone asks where you want to eat, and you mean it. Or at least you've said it so many times it feels true. You let the conversation go where other people take it. You agree with things you're not sure you actually agree with. You laugh at the right moments. You're good company, everyone says so. After a while, being easy to be around starts costing you something you can't quite name, because you're there, physically, socially, in the room. But a significant part of you is still reshaping itself in real time, depending on who you're around. Still running a quiet check in the background. Is this okay? Is this too much? Are they comfortable? Are they still good? It's exhausting in a way that's hard to explain because it doesn't look like exhaustion. You're not burned out, you're not struggling, you're fine. Part of you is participating, the rest is staying on standby. You might notice it in small ways. Someone asks what you think of something and you give the version of your opinion that's easiest to agree with. Someone invites you somewhere and you say yes because you can't figure out how to say no without it becoming a thing. A friend cancels on you last minute, again, and you say totally fine, no worries, and then sit there for a minute feeling something you don't quite look at directly. You put the dishes away, you go to bed, you're fine. What people usually miss is what this does to their expectations over time. Because when you're always the one making things smooth, always the one absorbing friction, always the one adjusting, you start to move through relationships without ever really finding out what they can survive. You never actually test whether the relationship could handle honesty, whether someone could stay normal after hearing the real answer, whether disagreement would actually damage anything or whether you've just been assuming it would. So you don't know. You just keep smoothing things over before reality ever gets a chance to show itself. The feeling usually stays. People just learn how to keep it hidden without looking disconnected. That's what this is underneath it. Not coldness, not indifference, just a very old decision that who you actually are, what you actually want, what you actually think, how you actually feel about something is probably more than people signed up for. So you manage it, you edit, you present the version that fits, and it works. Relationships stay intact, nothing breaks, nobody leaves, but nobody gets close either, not really, because there's always this thin pane of glass. You can see each other fine, but there's no contact. Some people, when they start noticing this, go the other way for a while. They overcorrect, start saying no to things aggressively, pushing back on things that don't matter, mistaking friction for honesty. That's not it either. Other people just start staying in the room a little longer when discomfort comes up. They let a silence sit without filling it. They say, actually, I'd rather not, and then wait to see what happens. Usually nothing collapses. That's the part they didn't expect. After a while, your brain stops asking, what if this goes well, and starts asking, how bad could this get? Because you've been shaping outcomes for so long that you've stopped testing them. You already know how people will react if you take up too much space. You already know the relationship can't survive the friction. You already know it's not worth it. Except, you don't actually know. You've just never found out. Half the reactions you're protecting yourself from probably belong to people who aren't even in your life anymore. You still check the other person's face when you say something honest. Still add, or whatever you think, to the end of opinions. Still notice halfway through saying what you actually want that you're already softening it. That's fine. That's just what it looks like when a habit is still there. The thing is whether you catch it. There's a version of being in relationships, friendships, partnerships, any of it, where you're not performing ease, where you say the real thing and the other person just takes it. Where disagreement doesn't mean damage. Where needing something doesn't require 5 layers of apology first. That version exists. Some people are living in it. Not because they're braver, just because at some point they let the glass come down and they found out the thing they'd been protecting people from, themselves basically, was fine. Was actually what people wanted to be around. You don't have to stop being considerate. You just have to notice when consideration is the word you're using for something else. What looks like distance is usually someone trying not to make the wrong emotional move again, and self-protection is quiet, it doesn't announce itself, it just slowly becomes the shape of how you move through your own life. A little careful, a little edited, always just slightly behind the glass. What starts coming back when you ease up on it isn't some new version of yourself. It's just the parts that went quiet. Asking a question without already knowing the answer you're hoping for. Saying what you actually want for dinner. letting someone see the thing you were about to soften, staying in the conversation past the point where you would normally make it easier. The kindness was real. That part's worth keeping, but somewhere inside it, there's also just someone who got very good at not being a problem. And that person has been waiting a long time to find out that they weren't one. You've been protecting people from the full version of you for so long that you forgot some people might actually prefer him.